Hey everyone, welcome back. So today, as you can tell in the description and title below, I am going to be doing a plant tour. So since we are all on quarantine lockdown, we've been spending a hell of a lot more time at home. And that has given me plenty of time and opportunities to expand my garden. So I'm going to show you what I have indoors right now, and then we're going to go ahead and head outside and look at all of our new things. So first we're going to start here. I have a nice big window here, so this is where I would say 98% of the plants go. So this is my kitchen. So a majority of the things that I do have are going to be succulents. There's really three things that I love growing, and it's going to be succulents, which include cactuses. I bunch them in the same category. Cannabis and vegetables. Fruits and vegetables. Food. So we're going to start here in the kitchen first. Now, we'll start with this guy. And of course, now that I'm filming a video, the name of this is totally escaping me. I'm not really good with plant names, but I'm really good at taking care of them. So you see this guy is a little cutting. You can find these like at almost every store. Whenever we go to the hydroponic store, they actually have a lot of cuttings of these that they grow in shop to show people kind of like how easy it can be to do a hydro grow. These I actually got off of a friend's plant, and now all the roots are growing. You can see they're starting to get algae, so this will be transplanted soon. I just want the roots to get a little bit longer. I have like changed the water completely. I know that the bottom of that is looking a little green, but when I redid the water, now the roots won't flow all the way down like they originally growed. They're just kind of all like bunched up. So this is going to be a perfect example of what not to do with succulents. So for those of you who don't know, I am here in Missouri, and I have been taking my plants outside since it's been, pretty nice out. Well, one day I looked at the heat index, and it was only supposed to be, I think, 71 or 72 degrees or something. So I had brought this planter out, and then before you knew it, it was 93 degrees outside in Missouri in the beginning of spring. So needless to say, they got shocked. So this is what happens when your succulents are exposed to too much heat. Now, if you follow me on Instagram, you have seen these little guys a lot, and you've never seen them in this color. They're still holding on by a thread. I hope that they're going to come back. I've been keeping them pretty well out of the sun. These are new little leaves that I hope start propagating soon and growing new plants. Now, all of these growing, I have saved from either Lowe's or Home Depot, because they were dying plants that they were going to get, that honestly were just going to get thrown in the trash anyways. So I went ahead and I took it upon myself to rescue them. Moving on. So this little guy is a cactus. So it has saran wrap on top to keep the humidity level in. You can see it has, some water. And if we open this bad boy up, which is a cute little skull, I'm pretty sure we picked this up at Five Below, so it was like $5. And it's starting to grow little cactuses. This one I'm really excited for, because we've never grown cactuses from seed before. We've always taken like clones of cactuses, and I don't know, I'm just very happy with it. It seems to be very happy sitting up here in the windowsill. So this little guy is also a Home Depot rescue. It's still really little, but it's growing. So another one that I rescued that is still in the very early stages is this guy. So it's a pretty big leaf. It has a root system in there. It just hasn't started sprouting yet. So it's really awesome to just propagate succulents. They, I mean, you basically forget about them and they start growing. Here's another rescue. This is a old candle jar. Once the candle was gone, I melted the wax out of it, and now it's the perfect little pot for my succulents, because succulents don't need a lot of water, so therefore you shouldn't be giving them a lot of water, so therefore they shouldn't need to drain. Does that make sense? Okay. And then this, I'm really happy about this one. So this plant I got, well, it's not mine. This is actually my niece's. Right before we all went on lockdown, she had a field trip to the botanical gardens, and she came home with basil. Now, when she came home with this, it was nothing but a jar of soil and some instructions. And so far she has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There was 7, but I don't know if you can see. But these right here, this is actually 2. And it originally was 3, but since they were planted so close together, they killed the other one off. Seeing like this one. It's actually pretty tall. So they are getting stronger by the day. Okay, so here is another vegetable. This is actually one of my favorites to regrow. These are green onions. You know, I have to do some trimming here, but they are like so strong and happy and healthy. Look at those roots. Now, you buy them just like this from the store for, I think Walmart sells them for like as low as 98 cents. And you can just regrow them at home. You literally spend $1 on, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like at least like 8 of these. You spend $1 on 8 green onions and you would literally never have to buy them again. If you have like a grow in your, house, basement, warehouse, wherever, like if you grow cannabis, if you put those, I think last time I put them in a 20-gallon pot and I just kept them in the veg room and they were like as long as my arm. Like I was having, 3-foot long green onions. It was amazing. Honestly, they were growing so fast we couldn't eat them quick enough. Like I was asking people if they needed cuts of green onions for their dinner that night because I would gladly bring them to them because they were getting so tall they were starting to fall over and I didn't want to get a tomato cage for it, but they loved that light. So I'm going to show you my last but not least indoor plant. It's quickly becoming my favorite one and you'll see why. So this is my baby. So what this is, for those of you going WTF, this is a bird's nest. An old, no longer being used bird's nest. I cannot emphasize that enough. I did not take this from a bird who is currently nesting in it. There were no babies in this nest when I found it. I live in an area where around my community there are woods. We're lucky enough to have a nice thick tree line between our neighborhoods. They're very tall trees. A few nights ago, maybe almost a week ago, there was really like a really bad thunderstorm. And the thunderstorm itself wasn't so bad, but the winds got up to supposedly 60 miles an hour. So this poor little baby, empty, fell out of a tree, got blown out of a tree. and I wanted to do something special with it. So what I did was I filled it with, you know, some smoky quartz. I got, what is this? I have citrine in here, nice chunk of citrine. I have, I think I have regular quartz down in here. I have calcite in here, more citrine. So yeah, I have some crystals in here. And then for those of you who don't know, this is an air plant. This plant doesn't need soil to survive. It doesn't lock its roots down like your just average plant would. And I just thought it was such a cool thing to find. I couldn't believe that we were lucky enough to find something like this. And I just thought that I would bring it back to life with, you know, an air plant, since it doesn't need soil, and, you know, some crystals just to put a little pop of color in there, and we can always use some good energy. So that's all I have for inside. So let's go ahead and head outside, and I'll show you all the new things I got. Okay, you guys, we are outside, and let me show you what we have. So I literally just purchased this one, I think it was yesterday. Got this beautiful succulent. I got this from Lowe's for $4. It is a hen and chick. Has lots of new growth on it. And even underneath those leaves, there's even more down there. So I'm really excited to transplant this little baby. Let's go over here. Now, like I said, I have just recently purchased these, so I do need to put some of them into some bigger pots. They may be looking a little dry right now because we did just get home with them, but I'm gonna show you anyways. So this right here, this is a big rosemary plant, and it's looking a little light right now, but we are going to transplant her into probably this guy right over here, because then it will sit up on the windowsill. See if I can turn this around. Oh, maybe not. Okay, so these are more succulents that we saved from the floor of Lowe's. And then this is also just a really sad looking Venus flytrap. So I wanted to bring the Venus flytrap home. I think it was like, I paid $5 for the Venus flytrap, but it was totally worth trying to save it. So you can see we're gonna have some new succulents there as well. Maybe I can put you guys down. All right, so this little guy right here, this is another basil plant. She's looking a little sad, but we're about to transplant her, so she's gonna be so happy. So as you saw, we have the basil little seedlings inside, but unfortunately those aren't going to be ready enough soon enough for me to use this spring or maybe early summer. So we got this girl. We're going to get some water on her and perk her leaves right up. But yes, basil is perfect for like, I love using basil in my Italian dishes. That's what I was trying to say. Okay, so here we have, this one is the black cherry plant. So, cherry tomatoes though. Yeah, hybrid cherry tomatoes, black cherry. So yes, this is gonna be needing a much bigger pot, and I'm gonna get a tomato cage for her. And whatever we use these tomatoes for will probably pair really well with the basil. This one here is going to be our red bell pepper plant. So we're gonna have some sweet peppers this year. The leaves don't look that great, but I'm hoping that we can get some nutrients for her and get her well on her way, because I think that having a garden is really important. Everyone should know how to grow plants, whether it's flowers, cannabis, vegetables, things like that, because that's a skill that, you know, people can't take away from you. And I think that right now, with all of this quarantining going on, you know, if everyone had their own gardens already established, then there wouldn't be that much you know, fuss to get to the stores for your vegetables, because, you know, even right now you can't stock up on things like vegetables because they're going to go bad sitting on your counter or in your cupboard. So I don't know, just having your own fresh fruits and vegetables and herbs, I feel like everyone should start somewhere. But on that note, I also have lettuce that I picked up. This is romaine lettuce. It's going to get put into a pretty big pot. So I'll show you over there. I also have some cabbage growing. And I think every house should have aloe. This is great for things like sunburn, but it's also really hydrating for yourself, not just your skin. And yeah, I don't know, aloe is just like such a good plant. I don't know what else to say about it. I know that there's a million things that you can say about aloe because it is like one of the like super plants, you know? Bugs are hitting me. Yeah, this one is pretty happy, I would have to say. All right, let me show you a couple more things that I have, and then I'll let you get to smoking. So here we have what is the beginning of our seedlings. Over here is going to be oregano, we have spinach, and we have parsley. So these are just seedlings that you can see like I planted from the bag. These are old egg containers, egg cartons. And then some of these I was able to salvage the shells, but some of the people in my house don't save the shells, so I wasn't able to get enough to do all of them. But these are really great for transplanting because you can just take them and then plant them just like that. And then eventually when the plant grows up, the roots are gonna just break right through that shell and they'll be able to keep growing. So this here, that is cabbage. You can see it's growing really healthy. It's super strong. We do have a rabbit, and my rabbit absolutely loves cabbage. And I was thinking, every time I buy her a head of lettuce or a head of cabbage, why don't I just plant that core, and every time I buy one, I'm now growing one for her in the future. So it's definitely going to be a slow process, but in the end it's going to be totally worth it. The next thing that I have, I'm just going to slowly walk down the side of my house. My neighbors probably think I'm fucking crazy, but you know what? I'm going a little stir crazy with all this quarantine, so they better understand. So here we have chocolate mint. This was actually basically rescued from our neighbor's house because they no longer live there, but they left behind all this mint. And I wish you guys could smell it. It smells so good. Like, it really smells like chocolate and mint. And then right here, we have 2 onion bulbs. They're drying out. These are actually transplants themselves. We found these 2 onion bulbs, and they were grown pretty well, but they were just sitting out like on like in the dirt, or should I say like in the sand. They weren't where they were supposed to be. Someone had just like abandoned these 2 perfectly good onions. So what we did is we planted them just to see if they would grow. We have no idea how these are gonna turn out. Okay, all right. And my last plant in the little vegetable food garden is strawberries. And you can see these are blooming really well, super cute. The same person who had abandoned the mint abandoned the strawberries, so we went over there to try and just kind of try to save them if we can. So the last little guy that I will show you on this trip is going to be this new tree. She's super pretty, very vibrant in color. Hopefully this will help some bees with pollinating and just all around make the yard look good. And this one we also found at Lowe's. Alright guys, I hope I didn't talk your ear off too much. If you made it to the end of the video, thank you so much. You are absolutely wonderful. If you would like to see more videos like this, please let me know in the comments below, and be sure to subscribe to my channel. I put out all different kinds of content. I feel like my channel isn't going in just one direction, so let me know what you would like to see, and maybe I'll see you on the next one. Alright, I'll see you later.